What's up, YouTube? This is Santos representing Neo Overlay Network, and I'm here to show you a Dark Magician deck profile. It's just a fun deck. This deck is really awesome. I like the fact that Yugi played with these cards and in the anime, and being able to play them yourself, it feels pretty cool. And so I just want to show you what I run around online and what I personally been running with my cards. So let's just get this started. For the first, I run these 3 Dark Magician because he is your ace monster of the deck, and yeah, he gets you to all your plays. So 3 Dark Magician, and the next I run 3 Apprentice Illusion Magician because she lets you discard a card from your hand to special summon her, and when she special summon, you could add a Dark Magician to your hand. So she does. She's an extender in that part, and she lets you throw stuff in the graveyard when you somewhat need them, because you do have Eternal Soul that lets you bring them back. So she's good in that part. And when one of your spellcaster monster attacks, she's able to. You could send her to the graveyard for cost, and that spellcaster will gain 2,000 attack. So they could get big if they need to swing over certain monsters that are high in attack. So 3 of her is necessary because she's your extender and searcher. So next of your searchers and your hard 1-ofs of the deck is your Magician Rod. They're the straight, like, if you normal summon this and you don't have nothing to back up, they just ends your turn. But if you're lucky, he lets you search any of your spells, Dark Magician spells that specifically lists his name on the text, and he lets you add. Most likely you will try to get Magician Circle to use its effect, but he is necessary, and just 3 of you just maximize him. So next I run 2 Magician Souls. The reason I run the 3rd one is because I don't have the 3rd one. I don't own one, but these 2 been being really good to me when I play around and play online, because it's awesome effect of when he's there on the field. You could send spells and traps up to 2 from their field and hand, and you could draw to the amount you discarded, and he's an easy extender. You just send Dark Magician to special summon him, or level 6 or higher Dark spellcasters special summon him. Or his 3rd effect is that you can still special summon the Dark Magician from your graveyard if you don't, and send him to the graveyard, but you special summon Dark Magician. So he has those options when you're playing around certain decks or how the game state is. So he's still good. So we run 2 for the 1-of for the Dark Magician archetypes. I run 1 Palladium Oracle Mahad because he is searchable with Soul Servant, and when he's drawn, he lets you special summon him, and then when he attacks a dark attribute monster, he gains, I think, double his attack, so 5,000. So he gets big. And 1 Dark Magician Girl, because I do run certain Dark Magician Girl spells and traps that help you do certain things, because why not? She's Dark Magician Girl, she's cute. Why not have her in your deck? So 1 and 1. So now for the other monsters I run 2 Radiant Kaijus and 1 Dino Wrestler Pankratops, the Kaijus, because certain cards are threats and problems, so you have that to deal with them. And he's a dark attribute monster because I do run Super Poly, and you will want to do that sometimes. And I run the 1 Dino Wrestler Pankratops because he's a godly 1-of, and he's also level 7, so I do have those ranked plays. And now for the spells, we will optimize the Dark Magician Circle, because when it's activated, it lets you excavate the top 3 cards of your deck and add 1 that specifically says Dark Magician in its text. And when your Dark Magician would be normal or special summon, it lets you banish 1 card from your opponent's field. So every time he gets special summon in your turn or your opponent's turn, when you bring him back with Eternal Souls. So it is good in that regards. And 3 is good. So next for the spells, we run 3 Soul Servants because it lets you, when you activate it, it lets you add Dark Magician card that specifically says in its text Dark Magician, and place it on top of your deck. And when it's in the graveyard, you could add up to uh, the up to number of Dark Magicians, Dark Magician Girl, and Palladium monsters you have in your field or graveyard. So you have a Dark Magician Girl on your field and a Dark Magician in your graveyard. You still could add 2 cards, but you gotta banish it for cost. So you banish it in your graveyard, and you could use that effect when you use it. So it's good like that. And then for the other 2 ofs, I run 2 Secret Dark Magic because I do run the Dark Magician, this new fusion that came out in the Legendary Duelist or one of those sets. Yeah, and it just lets you special summon him or whenever you need. Because I do bring out Super Poly, starting Venom, and you could use Dark Magician and starting Venom to still fusion summon to your other polymer fusion monsters. So you have that. So now for the 1/0 Dark Magicians, I run 1 Bond Between Teacher and Student because I do run Dark Magician Girl, and being able to set that up, you still pretty much gives you a game. And then you do have Dark Magic Attack because of back row, and it lets you could add it with Eternal Soul, and Dark Burning Magic because of Bond Between Teacher and Student because it lets you add it, and then Dark Burning Magic if you have Dark Magician Girl and Dark Magician on your field, lets you destroy all your opponent's cards. So, and then Illusion Magic because you use you could just tribute a spellcaster to add to Dark Magician. So that is really nice. So for the 1/0 also is the Eye of Timaeus because it lets you just fusion summon one of your Dark Magician fusions. So it's good like that too. And then now for the X3, I run 3 Allure of Darkness because it lets you add 2. Why not? And for the other 2s, primarily a lot of spells, be it Dark Magician. I run 2 Super Polys because I do run those package for the fusions. So now I run for the traps. I run 3 Eternal Souls. 3 Eternal Souls lets your opponent cannot activate cards or cannot target your Dark Magicians with card effects, and it lets you special summon a Dark Magician from your hand or graveyard, and it lets you search Dark Magic Attack. So you still have that with Eternal Souls. Good 2 of. I run 2 Magician Navigation because it's still a good card. If you have a Dark Magician in your hand, this lets you special summon it on your field, and a level 6 or lower spellcaster, and when it's in the graveyard, but you can't use it the turn it was sent to the graveyard, but your next turn or your opponent's turn, it lets you negate a face-up spell or trap on your opponent's field, so you can banish it, and that's really good to have it when you're playing against other cards. And for the last 1/0, I'll run 1 Magician Combination because I do run Dark Magician Girl, and I know she's pretty brickly, and you wouldn't want to see it that much, but it's still good because it lets you negate when a monster effect activates an effect, and or your opponent's activates a trap. It lets you negate it by tributing. If you have a face-up Dark Magician and a Dark Magician Girl in your graveyard, you'll tribute Dark Magician to special summon your Dark Magician Girl to negate the activation of that effect. And when it's in the graveyard, it still lets you destroy a card. So still good on that. And now for the extra deck, I run 1 Link Karibu because he's just generic Link Cyrus Link support for just a level 1. I use it for Magician Soul, and he's just here just for easy Link 1. For easy Links 2s, I run 2 Wee Witch because it just needs 2 dark monsters. It just gains 500 attack, so it's good. And I run 1 Crusadia Equimax and another easy little Link 3 to bring out. And for the XCs, I run one number 11 Big Eye, because he's just an easy rank 7 you can get out to take control of your opponent's monster by detaching the material, so good in that regards. And then I run Naruto, the Moral Leader, because he's also easy level 6 spellcaster and lets you negate a spell and trap during either player's turn, so it's good. Another rank 7 I run is Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, because he's just an easy level rank 7, and when your opponent activates cards or effects, it takes 500 points, so burn damage. For the Magician rank, I run the Ebon Illusion Magician. You can special summon, XC summon him using another rank 6 spellcaster like Naruto, and once per turn you could detach material to special summon a normal monster spellcaster, and when it attacks, when a spellcaster attacks, it lets you banish a card from your opponent's field, and it's a hard once per turn, so yeah, it's pretty good in that aspect. And another rank 7 is Ebon High Magician. He lets you activate quick play spells or traps from your during your opponent's turn by detaching a material, and if this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, or is just destroyed by your opponent's card effect, you could special summon a dark spellcaster from your hand or deck. So it has that if you need to go to those plays. But now for the Super Polymerization, I run the 2 fusion. I run starting Venom Fusion Dragon, because he just needs 2 dark monsters, and when you special summon, you could gain an attack to one of your opponent's special summon monsters, and it's you could target one of his level 5 or higher monster, and its effects becomes that, and then yeah, it's just easy for your Super Polymerization. And then for the other one I run per plant, and its effects that when he's out there, you just could negate a summon, so he's good in that aspect. So for the other fusions, I run the 1 Amulet Dragon, the 1 Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight. Amulet Dragon is here because you could just bring out Ayatamias, and just needs a Dark Magician and a Dragon monster, and it just lets you banish spells and traps, spells and traps from your graveyard, and it gains 100 for each one's banished, so you could be pretty big. And Dark Magician Girl, because she lets you, you could send a card from your hand and just to pop a card, so it's good when you need it, because I do run Dark Magician Girl. I run 1 Dark Magicians and the Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight, because it lets you, he becomes Dark Magician on the field and protect your spells and traps. And the Dark Magician, when your opponent activates a card or a monster effect, you could draw a card, and if it's a spell, a trap, you could set it, or if it's a trap or a quick play spell, you could activate it. And when it's sent to the graveyard or when it's destroyed, you can special summon up to 2 Dark Magician. So, and yeah, that's my deck profile, you guys. Hopefully you guys like it. It's really fun, it's really nostalgic, it's Dark Magicians, what's not to love. And this is Santos representing Neo Overlay Network. Sign out.